Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zoom Into Wine. It's time for the show and your host, Ian Blackburn.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you are having a good day and surviving this weekend. We've been very busy around here. The logistics on getting burgers to two parts of the city proved to be about as challenging as it sounds, but we made it. And thank you guys for joining us. And we've got some fantastic wines. I got to tell you, if you're just watching this, whether you're on Facebook or on our Zoom, and you don't have the burgers and you don't even have the wines, I'm just going to tell you, this is going to be really action-packed. A lot of wine information. Some of my favorite wines. Like if I were going to sit around and just pull any bottle out of the store to open up at any point in time. A lot of these are included in this list tonight. So we're going to get started now, and welcome everybody that's in on the Zoom. Say hello. Hi, Rachel. Hello. Rachel, who's joining you tonight? Sorry about that.
This is my husband, Steve. He
Hi,
joins me every night.
All right. Good. Lucky Steve. Thank you. Hi, Denise. How are you? Good to see you. Got the blinds back there. Awesome. Susan French, are you doing a dinner party tonight? You got guests over tonight and going to taste.
Tommy and Peter with us tonight.
All right. Hi there. I'm happy to.
I'm looking forward to the wines.
All right. Well, we got some good ones, so I think you're going to enjoy it. Fred, how are you?
I'm good. Antoinette's behind me and listening.
All right. Fantastic. I'm glad you guys could do this. Fred and Antoinette live in my building, and I'm excited, or I live in their building. It's depending on how you look at it. But we both live real close to each other, so I'm real pleased to have you guys on the Zoom.
It's extremely convenient for us.
Well, you guys make it awesome. Thank you. Terry Kamali, good to see you both. How are you doing?
Hi, Ian. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. I'm so glad.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Happy New Year.
I can. I don't think my internet's keeping up with yours, but I saw you both and heard both. Maybe at a different time, but both came in. So thanks for joining us. I hope you got everything okay. Satsuko, thank you for joining.
Yes, we did. Thank you.
Great. Satsuko, I'm glad to see that you made it in from Japan again. That's awesome. And Lydia, hi there. How's the whole gang out there? All right. You got the bottles. Phenomenal. Lisa, thank you for joining us. Jim Fox, how are you, sir?
Doing great, Ian. Thanks very much.
Awesome. We are real excited to have everybody here. Robin, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Excited to be here. Just
So
already ate our burgers, though, we have to admit.
Oh, that's all right. I have to talk a lot, so I stuffed my burgers down already as well. But we're going to drink all the wines together, and just really fun topicality. Being able to have some different foods brought into your house, I thought that might be a special treat for some of you. And you need an excuse to scarf down a couple of burgers. Let's face it. So we're going to taste through some really exciting wines now, and I want to go ahead and get into our PowerPoint that we've got generated for us. Let's see what we got there. So I'm going to show you the wines, but they're not in this order, okay? You're going to taste them in 3 at a time, and if you got 3 glasses, great. If you got 1 glass, that's fine too. It all works. We'll taste them one at a time, or 2 at a time, 3 at a time. And then we're going to ask you to pick which of the first 3 you liked the best, second best, and third best. And we'll use the chat box to get that kind of response. And then we'll reveal. We'll probably end up revealing at the very end, because I feel like with only 6 wines, if I reveal the first 3, kind of let you know what the next 3 are going to be. But we will keep a tight tally, and we'll move along fairly quickly. And I would encourage you, go ahead and put number 1 in the glass as soon as you can and get that tasted up. All right. So in no particular order, I'm just going to run through these wines really quickly. I'm going to provide everybody on this Zoom with the complete PowerPoint afterwards, but just really fun list of wines tonight. I'm really excited. We spread it around the world, different grapes, different places. All these wines are basically between $15 and $30. And some of them will blow you away at their price point, and some of them maybe not. We'll see, but I think you're going to love them. One of my favorite places in the world to find great value is Spain. And tonight, one of the wines that we're tasting in no particular order is a wine from a place called Montsant. And this is a really hilly, high elevation appellation with these liquorata soils, which are stone and clay. And look at those soils right there. Beautiful, you know, if you're a grape, you have a great view, and you're looking at old vine, Carignan, Syrah, and Grenache planted in these really mountainous zones. Montsant is very near Barcelona, and these are typically some really great values found here. And we're looking at all types of granite and schist and just really rocky minerality with that unique grape varietal composition and a very sense of the Mediterranean and Spain coming through, which is warmer, tends to be a little flashier in the alcohol and riper and richer. And there is definitely a smell of the Mediterranean in a glass of Spanish wine, especially from a place like Montsant. And just a really, really beautiful minerality that we're going to achieve here. All these wines are grown with either a sense of biodynamics or organics. They tend to go through natural fermentations, very much that in that kind of mindset, keeping good balance in the ecology and healthy vines, healthy people, healthy life, healthy water supply. And look at these vines. They're untrained and untrellised. And that's the way these vines were planted 50, 60, 80 years ago. And really a very amazing spot to grow grapes. One of the wines that we're going to have tonight is from Corsica. Corsica, being in the Mediterranean, is actually part of France, but the earlier origins of this island were Italian. So lots of Italian grape varieties made it to the island. Nelluccio is the main grape variety on the island in the red grape set. It is actually Sangiovese. And then there's grape varieties like Grenache and Scaraloo. I can't pronounce that grape, but it's pretty rare, pretty indigenous, and not sure if there's another grape variety that's genetically linked to it. I'd have to double check that one. We're also looking at Syrah, Mourvedre, Carignan, and the island has other grape varieties, little Merlot, little Cabernet. Most of the wine coming off of Corsica is rosé. And then if you look at the next most popular wine, it would be the white wine of Vermentino, or Vermentino, as they would say in Corsica. But red wines are really, really good. They tend to be really island-driven, salt air, beautiful ocean breeze type of a character in the nose. Again, Mediterranean, high acidity because of that island appellation. Really clean, really pure. And I love this wine. I love this wine. And it comes from a little part known as Corse Calvi. And you can see the green zone here. That's where this grape comes from. A lot of the rosés that we see come from the cap up here at the top. And so there's different expositions and different reasons why different grapes would be planted there. I can't wait to go to Corsica. I'm really going to make a huge effort this year to make it to a lot of the Mediterranean Ocean or islands. Of course, we'll all have to wait till it's safe to go, but that's where I'm going to try to just blitzkrieg Europe and hit all these island appellations that I haven't been to. I haven't been to Sicily, and I haven't been to Sardinia, and I haven't been to Corsica. So I'm thinking trifecta, and it sounds like an awesome trip. But man, this is probably the most famous export is information about Napoleon, who was born and raised on Corsica, and he also died there. But the island has granite, clay, sand in its soil types. And we take advantage of those soil types, plant different grape varieties on different soil types. Again, it's very ecologically sensitive. So natural path grape growing tend to be vines and vineyards that are minimal in human intervention. Not a large population lives on the island. So they have to be pretty self-sufficient, but look at that. That is a spectacular place to be a grape. I did, in reading, they don't plant many grape varieties up in the higher elevations. It is typically something that's growing a little closer to the coast, or a little more of a coastal zone. And flatter land, maybe that's just a little bit about being efficient, because when you plant on hillsides, it's much more work. So they do probably use some tractors and processes to simplify their lives just a little bit. Sorry, the slideshow's popping around. It tends to do that a little bit on it. Not sure why. One of the wines that we're trying tonight is from Portugal. And of course, one of the most famous wines in the history of the planet is port wine made in the Douro Valley. The Douro being the very first delineated wine region ever. In the 1600s, the King of Portugal said, port wine comes from this spot. And those wines were fortified, and they were fortified for good reason. Basically, they were taken out to the oceans and exposed to all kinds of elements. They didn't have bottles back then. They might have even sold them in barrel or in urn. And not too many years before the 1600s, wines were actually transported in the stomachs of animals, and they called them wine skins, and they traded them like commodities. How many wine skins? Bags full of wine. And so we've really come a long way. And so has Portugal. As Portugal's fighting for its survival, and dessert wine styles have diminished in popularity, port still being a very good category, but competitively, they wanted to address the opportunities that were in front of them, and the opportunities were to make a Bordeaux style blend. And so they refocused the Douro Valley on making Bordeaux style blends with indigenous Portuguese varieties, and the results have been phenomenal. These are not just good wines from Portugal. These are world-class, I think, on their way to being accepted and when you try this wine tonight, I think you're gonna be like, whoa, because this is a hell of a lot of wine. Again, comes in at that price point that I was talking about. All the wines are between 15 and 30. I'm not going to tell you which wines, which price at this time, because I don't want you to be looking for the least expensive wine. But this is just an incredible appellation of extremes, really hot river area. In fact, Meander is the name of the wine, and that's kind of named after the body of water that meanders through the Douro Valley. And look at that vineyard location. I mean, it is prime, and right on with, it's going to have this incredible rock and soil composition because of its location next to the river. And then you got all those slopes, and they know they're numbered and planted with those grape varieties. The primary grape variety in port wine is Touriga Nacional. And it is a great grape. By the way, a little trivia. Last year, Bordeaux approved planting Touriga Nacional in Bordeaux because they're getting ready for global warming. And they're needing to find some grape varieties that have thicker skins. And Touriga Nacional is one of the thickest skin grape varieties on the planet. And if it can survive in the Douro, where it is screaming hot in the summers, it can survive in Bordeaux. So Touriga Nacional is on its way. Touriga Franca, Tinto Ruiz, Tinto Barroca, and Alicante Boucher are in this wine, all indigenous varietals to Portugal. Some of them have names like Tempranillo in Spain. Tinto Ruiz is Tempranillo. But really extreme growing area. And just take a look at some of the photos here. All right, one of the wines tonight is from Argentina, and I have been to Argentina. I've been to Mendoza. In fact, I've been to Bodega Caro. Caro is Catana and Rothschild. The Rothschild family of Bordeaux, Lafite Rothschild. Actually, there's 2 wines in this flight tonight. I didn't even realize that until I was making the PowerPoint. I don't even think about the fact that this is owned by the Rothschilds. This is just a teeny little producer, and it's not their style to be teeny either, but they settled on making better wine and a small amount of wine in Argentina. They partnered with Catana to have a presence there, and they found some unique facilities. The restaurant there's on the facility is actually owned by Francis Melman. If you've ever heard of him before, he's that crazy barbecue guy. And if you ever see the chef table with Francis Melman, you'll develop an opinion about him. He's quite an interesting personality. And I've had the great pleasure of meeting him on a couple of occasions. Here in Los Angeles, he did some amazing barbecues at the Hotel Bel Air with these big, massive fire pits, spinning meat all over the place. And that's just he's just a really cool, crazy cat. So he has nothing to do with the winery, actually, except they share the building. The restaurant is at the same location as the wine aging facility. I'm not quite sure that they're at a point where they're fermenting at that facility yet. I think they're still fermenting at the location that is Catana, and then they bring the barrels over to the Caro facility. They did buy old winemaking facility and kind of dress it up. In fact, I think the restaurant of Melman is called 1884, and that's because that's when that building was established. But as you know, Mendoza, high elevation spot, right below the Andes Mountains. The Andes Mountains are just enormous, and they have a profound impact on the wines. High elevation. Malbec was planted there, but not in very large quantity until 1994, when Paul Hobbs told the Catana family again, hey, maybe you don't want to be so worried about your Cabernet. Let's focus on the Malbec, because Cabernet is being planted all over the world. Malbec is profound up here. So that's when Malbec became a primary driver of Argentine wine business. And they went from 0 to 10 million cases by 2012. And that was on a hunch by Paul Hobbs. And this wine really leans into the idea of Cabernet and Malbec, which is very much a part of the wines that are found down in the southern part of France. The Bordeaux region uses Malbec and Cabernet, Merlot, Cab Franc, Petit Verdot. In Cahors, where the grape variety may have actually been originally from, they do make some wines that are 100% Malbec and very rustic. But here they're blending the Cab with the Malbec in this particular iteration that we're going to try tonight. Here is the absolutely awesome, cool little cellar that, again, this was a 150-year-old building. It's kind of subterranean. The restaurant sits up on top of it. You enter the restaurant in the front of the building. The winery's in the back down the hill. It's really a cool situation. And the vineyards here, some of them are newer because, again, Malbec hasn't been around for all that long. So not a lot of old vines, but everyone's grasping for some of those old vines. And they do have a 50-year-old parcel that they get some fruit from. That is not an exaggeration. That's literally what it looks like in the winter. That snow, that is so tall that it creates its own environment. I mean, and all the water in this region is snow melt. They don't have pipes. They have rivers, and they direct the rivers with channels, and they do flood irrigation in the vineyards. And so it's really a unique spot for many reasons. A lot of places can't even grow grapes at this altitude. You're looking very close to 4,000 feet in elevation. Another spot that we're going to taste wine from tonight is France, in the southern part of France. Not too far, actually, from Bordeaux, and not too far from Cahors is a little place called Corbière. And I need to shut my PowerPoint for a second. Sorry about that. Almost done with the PowerPoint, but my email decided to open, and I need to now close it and get it back open. There we go. Okay, back at it. Here we go. Hit the wrong button. There we go. Okay, Cabernet and Syrah is what Corbière would probably lean into as its primary grape blend. Pretty unique in France to see those two grapes together unless you're in this area. Syrah being Rhone, Bordeaux being Cab Merlot. Here they kind of have a place where it's common for Cab to be blended with Syrah. And in fact, there was a point in history, if you go back in time, prior to the 1855 appellation laws of Bordeaux and the hierarchical system was set up. Back in the 1600s, the number one wine in France was Hermitage. And Hermitage was so important. It was also very, connected to the Catholic faith, and the Pope lived nearby, and Châteauneuf-du-Pape, and there was just a lot of reasons why Hermitage was a super important wine. And in fact, Bordeaux, trying to get some credibility, took a bottle of Hermitage wine and poured it into the barrel of Bordeaux and Hermitaged the wine. That was something that was pretty common back in that period. There's been some ceremonial kind of recreation since then, recently. In fact, one of the great chateaus did a commemorative bottling. I think it was Côte d'Estremont, but I could be wrong. No, it was a Margaux property. Anyway, this particular wine, again from Chateau Lafite, is a blend of Cab and Syrah. And this would be fun to taste this wine and see how you like it. It is going to surprise you how economical this bottling is. But a really good little find, and not a huge focus for Lafite in this market, but something that's a little more obscure. So we'll see what you guys think of this particular offering. This is a kind of a look at the greater Mediterranean area. I'm not sure if this actually shows Corbière. There it is. Okay, right in here, Corbière. Just north of Spain. I'm not sure what the leash in the hand represents. Maybe they're into something a little kinky down there in the southern part of France. I have to ask the question. I'm not sure, but the picture is there, and you got this fantastic exposition, these hillsides, and this lush vineyards growing off of really old granitic soils. That would be one of the key features of this place. And you're going to smell that granitic character in the wine, granite. We go down to Tuscany, and one of the wines tonight is from a very famous producer, Ornellaia. It's actually the third bottling off of the Ornellaia estate. Ornellaia right now is owned by the Frescobaldi family, originally started by a cousin of Sassicaia. He needed some financial investment, and the Marchesi di Frescobaldi came in and provided that. And they have done a fantastic job, really developing the reputation, the quality, the distribution, well-funded, and really putting some amazing money into the wine making facilities and taking advantage of the opportunity that created. So this is a look at Ornellaia. That big tree right there is one of the Ornello trees that the property is named after. And every time we go by Ornellaia, you get a big group shot underneath the Ornello tree. This is the significant meeting spot right here in Tuscany, Bulgari. Sassicaia is just down the road, and all of the Aia wines mean the place of. This is the place of the Ornellaia is the place of the Ornello tree. So the wine being Cabernet Merlot, Cab Franc. Let me go back and make sure I didn't miss something there. There it is. Merlot, Cabernet, Sangiovese. That's it. 67 Merlot, 20 Cabernet, and 13 Sangiovese. So we're all over the globe. We've got a wine with some Sangiovese, a wine with some Portuguese varieties, wine with some Spanish varieties, Corsican, Argentine, a little French. Let's see what you like. Hopefully you've enjoyed your burgers. You got a choice. I'm going to ask you guys at the end if you'll pick which burger did you prefer. We always enjoy letting people know who wins the competition. And you got your chat box ready to go. Denise, did you try the first three? And which did you prefer? One, two, or three?
Oh, 1, 2, or 3 first?
Yeah.
1, 2, or 3? 1.
You enjoyed number one. Terry, how about you guys? What did you prefer?
I'm still tasting, but I think 3. 3 is our choice.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
Jim Fox, what do you think, buddy?
I'm going to go with number 2 right now.
All right. We got a 1, a 2, and a 3. That's the way I like it. Robin, has your group tasted everything? Got an opinion yet?
We have to confess, we've opened 3, which is lovely, and we got bets on what we think it is, and we're just tasting 2. So give us 3 minutes. We're just allowing it to breathe for 1 sec.
Got it. You got it.
Report back.
Sure. And Lisa?
I bought the bottle from Corsica.
Okay.
It's quite lovely.
We're gonna see how that one fares tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Lydia, you guys are sitting back there. You have
Yeah, we're all in agreement. We think one's the best.
Okay. 3 votes for 1. Frederick, how about yourself, sir?
Well, we're trying to open 3 right now.
Is it posing up a challenge?
Oh, do you like 1 now? I like 1. Okay, I think we're voting for number 1 out of the first 2. We haven't opened 3 yet. I got to tell you, we broke our Corsica. So is that Corvin. So we're only going to open 3 wines. We may have to adjourn ourselves after that.
Okay. Well,
but we'll report to you later.
Okay. And did you break the needle on the Corvin?
Yes, and I got a replacement needle, and then I lost that. So.
Oh wow.
And they're not cheap.
No, they're not. They're not. I don't know that I have needles available on the website right now, but I might have a needle in stock, and if you guys need one, we can.
You mean like tonight?
Like tonight, maybe, if you want to walk over.
I don't want to bug you. Right?
I can come by after the Zoom and drop it off.
All right. Well, no, don't worry. I'll just order one. They come pretty quickly. I just feel really stupid.
Don't worry.
Anyway,
right.
So we're 1. No.
You're into number 1 so far.
Yeah. Did you get 3 open? Oh, I'm gonna go check out 3. I'll be right back.
All right. Cool. Well, use the chat box if you can, and let me know which one you like the best. I think we're all over the place so far. We've got a lot of number 1s weighing in. That's a good start. Now I'm gonna see if you guys want to make a guess at which appellation they're at before you reveal. Some of you have the tasting kit, and some of you have whole bottles.
Just a big vote for In-N-Out if we're voting on burgers.
Oh,
that's later. Okay. Well, we'll be
right.
leaving you, so I wanted to get my vote in.
All right.
Ian, it's a tough choice to figure out the favorites here. They're really good.
They're good.
We've done, we're doing 2 and 3 because we have the bottle, so we're only going to pick 2 to taste, and now everyone's making us. It's hard to choose. Yes.
The thing is that 1 didn't appeal to us until it had been open for about 25 minutes.
Ah,
really changed.
Yes, that can certainly happen.
I opened all 6 at the same time and poured all 6 at the same time. And 1, 2, and 3, all the wines I have loved, and I am completely blown away by them all. But I like every last single 1, 2, and 3, since we're only talking about those. And I mean, I was hard pressed to pick 1 as my favorite, but it is my favorite. Is that your favorite?
Oh,
and Peter's too.
Cool. And where do you think number 1 comes from? Why don't you guys throw some guesses into the chat box?
Italy. We say Italy.
Italy.
Okay. A couple Italy.
How do you know it's Italy?
I don't know. I think I've had it before.
Any other guesses?
Tony says she recognizes it from
I think I've
previous
had it before.
tasting.
I think I've had it.
Thinks she had.
Cool. Christina, you got number 1 as a favorite here. Then 3, then 2.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say that's right.
Steve and Rachel think it's French, number 1. Cool.
We like number 3. 2 of us. One of us liked number 2. And Peter, what did you like?
5 and 6.
No.
You're drinking ahead. And that's fine. It's your set of wines. But we're going to talk about 1, 2, and 3 for a minute.
3 and 2. We're thinking 3 is a Sangiovese blend.
Okay, good.
And we're thinking 2 is in that Cabernet Malbec, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And we're a big fan of 2.
All right. So we've got a couple of 2s and basically spreading the votes out over all 3. And it's interesting because, when I taste the wines for the store, I don't get to comparably taste and rank them. I just knew I liked all 6 of these wines when I tasted them individually and thought that they really overperformed at their price point. Number 1 is from Ornellaia. This is the La Volte 2017. It is Italian, Tuscan, Cab, Merlot, and Sangiovese.
2 is French.
2 is French.
Okay. 2 is French, and you are correct again.
Good.
Yes, yes, and this is from our Corbière area. It is Syrah and Cabernet, and I think the number 1 wine, if you thought French, probably took you to a place like Bordeaux, right? Very Cabernet styled, and the House of Ornellaia does a great job. Bulgari is really an amazing spot for Cab Merlot. Just a little bit of Sangiovese in there adds just a little Italian attitude, and quite honestly, it's probably about keeping the cost number down, because growing Cab and Merlot and Bulgari is a fairly expensive proposition, just by yield and things like that. And these are grapes that are someday going to be good enough to get into the Ornellaia wine, but not yet, because the vine age isn't quite there yet. So they take those younger vines and use them into a simpler wine, probably getting different type of yields and things like that. So that's what the La Volte lets them do. The Ornellaia wine, $200 a bottle. They make a second label that's around $75 a bottle. And then you have this La Volte just below $30. I think it's around 25, $26 a bottle. The second wine from the southern part of France, a little bit more of a value appellation, Corbière. We have this wine for about $15 a bottle on the website, number 2. And I just think it's freaking stellar. For $15? Are you kidding me? Bingo. I was like, bring it. So I really loved it. And it sounds like you guys enjoyed that too. Wine number 3. Guess an appellation for number 3. I'm just amazed by the color saturation in number 3. That nose to me is just, oh yeah. I was just like, I'm so drawn in that it's got that stony, rocky feature. Now this isn't as gregarious as number 2. Number 2 being like lovable, easy yum. Got all that nice roundness. That Syrah and that Cab in number 2, just that is so good and easy to love. And number 1 is so refined, and this is kind of a beast. This kind of has more of that but I love that nose, man. Oof, this one just checks all the boxes for me. And this is from the Douro Valley in Portugal. This is Meandro. I believe this wine is supposed to be about $30, and right now we have the supply that we have got a special little price because it was like a good moment to buy. If you bought 6 cases, you got a great price. So I passed that on to you guys. It's about $20 on the website. Tremendous wine, and I just really adore. So. Damn good. All right, we're moving into wines 4, 5, 6. And if you guys want to bow out, Fred, you're welcome to. I can provide you with the video. You can watch it later.
We'll stay. We'll just listen.
Just listen in? Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It's just we can't get through 6 bottles in 3 days. So.
You weaklings, come on. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
You want me to open up 5 and 6?
All right, we're gonna taste 4, 5, and 6, and around here we do a lot of work with the Coravin. I actually am tasting from open bottles today because I poured all those tasting sets this morning, and so it just makes more sense to do that. We're gonna drink most of the bottle, but Coravin, if you haven't tried it before, is something I was probably in the first 100 customers when the device came out. I read about it. I sent a letter to the inventor and asked him if I could be a part of the release. And I've had a relationship with them ever since. If you become a member of our Zoom into Wine program, we have a welcome to the membership price, $50. It gets you an invitation to every Zoom. If you buy the $200 membership, you get a Coravin Unit 3, and we're creating now the $300 membership with a Coravin Unit 5. And so they have a little fancier unit in the number 5.
No, that's 4.
Yeah.
Oh, 4, 5,
First
6.
it might
I'm
have
sorry.
5
Sorry.
and 6.
Sorry.
We're not muted, sweetie. Be quiet.
All right, it's all right, Susan. You guys take arm wrestle, whatever you have to do. All right, I've got number 4 in my glass. And these are definitely different. You know, a couple weeks ago, we did a Cabernet versus Bordeaux event, and there's a sameness when you do something like that because they're all kind of in the same zone. But these are definitely place-driven wines, and they go all over the place. And for New Year's Eve, I was sitting around here drinking some wine with a good friend of mine. We were actually quite honestly barricaded here because there were protests in downtown LA or concerns of them. Everything was boarded up and I was worried about the store. So I brought a friend in with some muscle and we hunkered down with a bunch of different bottles of wine, and we were celebrating New Year's. So we opened a couple of really nice high-end wines. And then we got to this one, which was kind of something I was supposed to taste. And I said, let's try it. We opened it up and we thought it was like our wine of the night. It was just an incredible little value. So I hope you guys enjoy it as well. That's number 4. Now, I will say for maybe a little bit more of a food-oriented wine, as opposed to some of the wines that we've tasted already that have this kind of big, yummy, to have a glass of wine type of a feature. I think number 4 is a little bit more food-oriented. Agree with you totally, Jim. Acidity, like bright red fruits, almost like screaming cranberry and raspberry. There's definitely a lip smacking crispness to this wine. Before I give away what the answer is, let's move into number 5. I want to get all the wines a chance to shine. What we're doing around here, if you're just watching, you know, we tell you what the wines are. We're just not telling you which glass they're in, and it kind of makes you taste things a little differently, form an opinion. And again, this number 5 goes back to kind of that minerality and that bold, kind of macho, rockin' type of muscle in the nose, lots of stone. See what you guys think of number 5. And we started doing these type of deductive tastings quite a long time ago. And with doing the virtual version with the burgers, it's a little more challenging than when we were in our classroom and we could serve everybody at the same time. Food would literally arrive and be served within moments. Hopefully you guys didn't mind the 2020 version or 2021 version where the burgers were probably ice cold.
Okay, you're marking it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to move into my wine number 6. As I tasted my number 5, got an opinion.
Ian, I was glad to have not one, but two burgers. So I didn't care the temperature at all.
You're awesome. They go down so fast. Mm. And even maybe as much as I was talking about the stone and muscle in number 2, number 3 takes that up a notch, maybe even more stony, and it's like a melody of different type of rocks and stone in that nose, and just really interesting ripeness level. So remember what we've already tasted before in wines. 1 was from Italy, 2 was from France, 3 was from Portugal. So what we've got left is we've got Spain, Argentina, and Corsica. So which of the 3 did you prefer is the first question. If you could put that in the chat box.
I do that.
Jim, your notes are always great. A little spice on 6 for sure.
I think he's asking for the first 3.
No, 4, 5, 6. Which did you prefer in this flight? I may have said 1, 2, 3. I've got the same numbers on my glasses.
I don't know which one you prefer, Peter.
6.
6. 6, 5. I like 5. 5. Put that in the chat, would you, Peter?
Which?
2 and 6. 2 for 5 and 2 for 6.
Rachel likes 5. Steve likes 4. Jim likes 6. That's also very encouraging. Christina, 6 and 5, but 4 is different. We got 2 votes for 5 with Lydia. So all over the board, and definitely some differences in opinion too. Some people may not even, I saw someone not a big fan of number 5. So that's what I love wine, is there's something different for everybody. And this is kind of like trying on clothes and figuring out which one fits you the best and your personality. We're going to start off with number 4, obviously, and since we are all over the place on scores, but I will say that 5 looked like it collected the most votes on this second round here, at least in the chat box. 6 probably came in second. 4 is right there though. 4 is different. Where do you think it's from? Yeah, chat box response there. All right, we got some Denise Wynn saying Corsica. Steve and Rachel saying Corsica.
We're thinking maybe Spain.
All right, we got some Spain. Argentina. Now go into that glass, think of ocean air, and see if you can pick up on that salinity and that sea air that's blowing across Corsica, because that's what we got in number 4. Course Calvé, $16 a bottle. Crazy, super cool, fun, bright. I see this as kind of like, I mean, gosh, this got so much character to it, but such a decent price point. It's bright, it's crisp. I'd love to have this with some awesome food. And certainly it would handle a cheeseburger, slice right through it like a laser. It's got really high bright acid. Some people may not like how acidic it is. That might be one of the criticisms of the wine, but I love it. And I really think it's refreshing, and especially with something fatty like a cheeseburger, it probably cuts right through it and kind of brings your palate right back. It's got the nimbleness of maybe something like a Pinot, and it's got the intensity of a French wine, but a little bit more with that softer color, probably due to the grape varietal set, and the Sangiovese isn't known for being black in color, and that's what the primary grape is in this Corsican number 4. All right. I dig it. I really love that wine. So be thinking already, because you've made up your mind twice which ones you like the best. I'm going to ask you at the end to pick one wine that won the whole night. What was the best of the 6? So be thinking about that. Let's go into number 5, which did very well in the voting. It offended someone, but or was different for someone.
4.
Sorry? Number 5 is a little different.
Product of France.
The wine is it's not very traditional, not very many references. This comes from, where do you think? We've got
I heard someone say it's very granity, and we think there's a lot of granite flavor in it too. But we like it. We like it.
Good.
Yeah.
We're thinking Argentina.
Yeah, it is Argentina, everybody, and it is from Caro. But what makes it a little different is the use of Cabernet here. It changes the nose quite a bit. Malbec being so big and ripe and doesn't tend to have quite the acidity that this wine has. 17 was a little bit more of a challenged vintage in Argentina. When I tasted the wines with the supplier, they showed me the 18 Caro Malbec, which is just dramatic. It's like the best vintage ever in Argentina is the 18 vintage. And so it's this big fudgy kind of chocolate monster of a Malbec. And then I tasted the 17 Amancaya, which is from the same producer, but they do it as a blend. And this is a 50-50 typically. I think this one might be 60-40 in this particular vintage. 17 was a challenging one, and made something very interesting. It's a few dollars more, but this spends almost an additional year in wood and has just really a little bit more of a high tone. It's a few bucks more, but it's got a lot more in it in the winemaking. And really what they're doing is taking their third wine, which is the Caro wine, sells for about 50 bucks and is really, really extraordinary blend. And they blend down into this wine. They take some of the Cab from Caro and some of the Malbec from their holdings and blend them together to create Amancaya. And it's just a teeny little pimple of a wine. There's just not very much out there, but and that's, like I said, not very common for Lafite to have something in small production. But this is what they're doing in Argentina. It's just kind of making a nice reputation for themselves and making a nice set of wines. A lot of their talent that works at Chateau Lafite actually goes on. I'm saying Lafite, Mouton Rothschild. Sorry, they are moving around the world. It is right. Barons Rothschild, yeah. Lafite Rothschild. How about that? And I've said them all. Barons Lafite Rothschild, they take their talent and put them on the road. So they have them go make wine in Argentina. They go make wine in Chile. They go make wine in the south of France. And they take their best talent and the people that are achieving the best results, and they bring them back to the chateau to work on the chateau's top wine. So this is a kind of a great selection process for their talent pool, and keeps the brand family very strong. It also gives them incredible connections in the local markets, and it gives them an incredible portfolio of wines to represent all over the world. So pretty big strategy on their behalf. And they do things in a very high way. When you go to the Caro facility and you look, those are actual Lafite barrels that if you wanted to buy them as a winery, you'd pay over $1,600 a barrel for those barrels. They have their own forest, they have their own cooper, and they're absolutely the tippity top of the barrel spectrum. Wine number 6 is our last wine, and the wine that we had not yet revealed, and that is our Spain wine from Monsant. And this is called Zeran, and it's just got this kind of psychedelic label. Wow, what a wine value. Really exotic in the ripeness. You can really smell the complicated soils, which are granite, schist, and it has this compressed slate element too. Then the Spanish call them licorata soils, and it's there's some really expensive wines just made on the other side of the hill, but in Monsant, it's a little bit more of a value. And these wines, this wine here goes for, again, under 20 bucks, and it's just a really big and bold and ripe, and that nose just has this kind of that granite thing. If you could find that at the top of the nose, that's the stony minerality that you smell, the granitic note. Really wild and chiseled stone, and then you got that kind of really ultra ripe plushness right behind the stone.
And is there any floral to you at all on that, or am I just a wackadoodle?
Oh, absolutely. You're definitely picking up. Jim picked up on the complexities of the spices, herbs, and certainly can get into like the floral violets, roses. I'm not sure what you're smelling, but I think yeah,
rose.
Yeah, that rose petal kind of character, right? I get that, and it's a wild nose, and I kind of can be described almost as kind of gamey too. It has a gamey sensibility to it. I would. And maybe I'm just a little bit of I've got PTSD from being in this area and tasting with a winemaker, just a spectacular, beautiful woman, just made barbecued lamb chops for the group. And every person, I was with like 9 women and 2 guys, and the women couldn't take their eyes off of her. She was stunning. And so the nose and the wine just has this kind of grilled lamb sense to it. I'd love to have that with a lamb chop. So, all right, so now it's time to pick your favorite in the flight. Jim said red rose tea. I like that, Jim. Only in Canada? No. Is that a Canadian tea? Is that what you guys do to the English tea time? You bring out your red rose tea?
There's tea in the flavor and the nose. I love it in wine.
Yeah. Yeah, Setsuko, it is pretty freaking cool. And you know, complexity in the nose, we all talk about it, and people get a little lost when wine people start throwing out, you know, what is that bullshit? You know, he's talking about the rock, the stone, the chocolate, the cigar, you know, all those little things. It's a language in wine, and you know, when we describe rock and roll, we talk about it in one way. We talk about artwork, we talk about the period that the artwork comes from. You know, every specialty has its language. A wine, there's you kind of got to back away from the wine a little bit and start trying to break it down into pieces. And I suggest starting with the few rule: fruit, earth, and wood. If you can smell one part of the fruit and smell a little part of earth, and then maybe its impact from wood, and is there wood or not? And a lot of these wines at this price point, at best, some of these wines are partial wood, where they'll keep a lot of the wine in the stainless steel and blend in some wood barrel aged wines. That's how you make a wine with value. If you have to put your wine in a wood barrel, you're talking about an expensive bottle of wine, and they're $30 and up on wines that tend to be the full oak treatment. Unless you're talking about older wood, then you can create some value there, or maybe wood influenced wines that don't actually see a barrel but maybe see wood chips or wood staves. Time is the most important ingredient, and if you're going to put it in wood, you're going to take the time to do that. And so these things really change things around. All right, so we've got some responses, and we're looking for the number one wine tonight. Jim says it's number 6. Lydia says 2 votes for 5 and 1 for 6. Christina says number 1.
Yeah, Peter.
5 and 6. 5 is my best. 6.
Got some 5s, some 6s. We got a number 1. Jim's big there. All right, so Denise says number 1. Peter's number 1. And he drinks Chardonnay. We had to know that. I'm glad you liked it, Peter. Oops. Excellent. We've got some more scores coming in here. Robin and Nina, you're saying we're like 5. 2, 3, and 5 are your faves, looks like. Number 1 for Steve. All right. It's kind of a 3-way tie right now between number 1, number 5, and number 6. 2 number 5s, 1 number 6 for Susan French and company. I think that puts number 5 over the top. So 5 and 6 are splitting the audience, we'll call it that. And that's our wine from Argentina and our wine from Spain. But I think what I love about tonight's set is that it shows you a diverse world set of wines that are in that same price point, that are competing for kind of the same mindset. Our Corsican wine probably was the most different in the flight tonight, but I just had to, because I loved it so much. I had to put it in this flight, and was looking for something a little different. Always love to put these type of little events together. You guys were awesome for doing it with me. Now let's finally come to the answer. Who won your burger choice, In-N-Out or Shake Shack?
Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
Oh, aha! See, we've got some tension here.
Easy.
This is the battle. This is like if you want to start an argument, Shake Shack or In-N-Out. So let's see. It all comes down to all the answers.
In the chat box. We've got a split over here, In-N-Out and Shake Shack.
All right. One of each. Put them in there. I got a tally.
You got to put it in the
I mean, you couldn't really ask for 2 different burgers. You've got the Shake Shack team really focused on the bun, and it's kind of a sweeter brioche. And by the way, Shake Shack only does medium or well done on the to-go stuff. If you're eating in, you can order it probably different temperature. I put onions on all the burgers, to be fair. Some of you probably pulled them off, but added pickle. Did pickle make it on yours, Rachel? Pickle make it on there? Okay, good. Yeah, you gotta have pickle, right? Come on.
And the best burger we had tonight was the one I made with Impossible Burger. For Tom.
All right, cool job. Cool. Yeah, I like the Impossible Burger. You know, I do my 3 months a year as a vegetarian, and Beyond Meat and Impossible Burger are duking it out in that category. They're pretty damn good, and I like them.
Which of those do you like best? Better, I should say.
That's Susan. What do you like better? Because I haven't had. I think I just get Beyond Meat burgers now. That's all I see at the store. They've kind of done a better job in the grocery.
But I like the Impossible Burger, and but I do it with fresh tomato, fresh lettuce, mayo, ketchup, mustard, onion. So it makes a really, and for me, dill pickle, for Tom not, but it makes a great burger. And it doesn't have all the downsides of beef burgers.
Right. They are that I think some people react differently to them, body chemistry wise. That's been the downside that I've heard. Maybe a conversation for another time. But all right. So did we voted, and we've got here comes the tally of In-N-Out versus Shake Shack, and tonight's team, who's competing. We got one for Shake Shack with Denise. We got Christina saying afraid to say Shake Shack. Terry Kamali said In-N-Out. Terry, did you have Shake Shack?
Shake Shack. 3 for Shake Shack here.
Oh,
yes. We have had it before, but like you said, you can't choose the doneness. So we had an umami truffle burger instead.
That's cool. And the umami burger.
That one out our.
Yeah, umami burger in my neighborhood shut down in the arts
Say that
district.
again.
Umami shut down in the arts district. So.
Oh yeah, they deliver. They still deliver to us in Anaheim, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, that was our choice tonight.
I love the umami burger. I think it's awesome with the Parmesan chip on the burger. I like that.
Oh, okay.
You really care about this.
Yeah. We've got, okay, we got lots of comments here. I'm just going through them and I'm trying to pick the winner, but I'm telling you, the results are here. It looks like Shake Shack.
Oh no.
Yeah, sorry guys. We got a couple in and outs, but we had 3 votes from Susan French on the Shake Shack. So it's pretty close. It usually is like 60-40 one way or the other. And we've had both win. It just depends on the audience. I think In-N-Out gets a little bit of an allegiance to California, but just know that In-N-Out's going nationwide, gang. We're going to lose our In-N-Out privileges. They're growing pretty far, and Shake Shack is already publicly traded. And man, there's Shake Shack in almost every neighborhood in Southern California now. They've done a good job. Shake Shack does a great job online. You can pre-order your Shake Shack and have it ready to pick up, which is so cool. Good job on Shake Shack for being that organized digitally. You can't do that at In-N-Out Burger, and it does take you about 40 minutes now to get through the line at In-N-Out, which we learned tonight. And I want to say I'm sorry to...
So Ian, I have a quick question.
One of you waited a long time for the burger to get out of there, so sorry about that, Christina. And
no worries. I felt bad. I didn't see your email. I was doing work, and then I saw it, and I said, whoops, I guess he's going to be waiting a while.
Yeah, we were held up pretty good in downtown LA at In-N-Out. They were pretty busy. So
as her husband, I'm just used to it now.
You were early though. You were early. But thank you guys. Someone was going to say something. I had interrupted. I
Yeah, Ian, it's Terry. I had a quick question. You said they're going to go across the nation or something, In-N-Out, or?
Oh, they're breaking into other states.
Because my brother-in-law lives in Nebraska. He so wanted to buy a franchise in Nebraska because he didn't want to come to California every time.
They're not franchising. They're family operated. And,
yeah.
They're not franchising, but they are growing into other states, and I think Texas.
Oh.
The next state.
He said that they had to be in a place where they could get all those fresh ingredients, wherever that was going to be.
Yeah, or they have enough stores. They can have enough stores. I don't think Nebraska is going to be the next market that we're going to see that happen, but
No.
I think Texas, and if you ever go to Texas, they're really proud of their Whataburger. And I've had the Whataburger. It's not, In-N-Out's going to go clean its clock. Well,
White Castle.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if White Castle's going to make it to California. They're in Vegas, right?
No.
No, there's one in Pasadena,
Midwest.
There's a White Castle in Pasadena.
No.
Yes. Yes. Yes,
No.
I've been there myself. Yes,
Really?
there's one in Pasadena. I don't know if it's there anymore. It was there quite some years ago when I used to work off of Green Street, right off between Colorado and Green Street somewhere.
No, it can't be there anymore.
was-
If it was there,
No, it's probably not there.
pop up because
It was there probably 15 years ago or something.
I think the signage might be still there if that's possible, though, right? Could that?
It might be. I mean,
I
they
think so.
still-
I think I feel like it might.
Yeah, I have no recollection
Thank
of
you.
that. And Denise is a Pasadena pioneer up there, so if Denise doesn't know about it, it's not there.
I grew up in Indiana. Peter,
was a
we
dry
grew up
cleaner.
in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Peter grew up in Brooklyn. I grew up in Indiana with White Castles. There ain't no White Castles in Southern California.
That's where I had White Castle, is in Indiana. That's funny. Yeah, that's the only place I've ever had one. But
there was a pop-up in Hollywood on Sunset for that movie.
Yeah, and they were doing some pretty big advances in the frozen food section, trying to get people to buy them frozen, right? I think they're probably still there, but the burger wars have definitely changed in this moment, and I think it seems to be like pizza or burgers are the only restaurants that are opening right now, and we'll see what happens, but. I want to thank you guys all for joining us tonight, and I hope you enjoyed the wines. I hope you enjoyed the selection, the chance to do something fun and social. You guys are all wonderful on the Zoom, and we want to continue to grow our Zoom audience. We hope you guys will join us. Inside the Box with the wine, hopefully you got a little postcard. We're doing all kinds of stuff to stay relevant. You know, someday we won't be locked up, but I still want to be your wine supplier. We are going to continue with our free delivery in LA. We've got $10 delivery in all of California. And if you're watching this anywhere in California, I could get you these wines for the Zooms. They're included in the price when you buy the Zoom. So anywhere in California, we ship the wine. And that's the tasting kit or the bottle kit. So you can do either. We're enjoying the opportunity to present the wines to you. We do have the Merchant of Wine website that all these wines will be available off of the website, and anybody on the Zoom gets a special discount to buy the wine. So after this Zoom's over, I package up the video and send it out to you so you can watch it later if you want. And I give you a little promotional code so you can buy these wines at a little bit of a break. Some of them I mean, all the breaks are going to be the same, but some of these wines are already just incredible value propositions. So good chance to stock up. If you get, anytime you buy wine on our website, you get 5% off on 6 bottles now and 10% off on 12. So it just makes our shipping policy work out a little bit better. The more you get, the better we do. And so we're rewarding 10% off, and you can buy 13 to 24 bottles and you still get 10% off. So take advantage of the discounting if you can. We really appreciate all of you guys. A lot of you have been with us many, many times, and we're working hard to keep the different events coming. Coming up soon, we have just a couple of fun things happening on Zoom into Wine. This month is a month where we thought we'd kind of make some events of super value for people. Some people have been out of work for a while. So we do have the Zoom membership, which makes all of the Zooms included at the $50 level. We brought some different people in for an event with, I'm sorry, I'm pausing for a moment here. I'm kind of stumbling a little bit. Let me collect my thoughts here. We got, here we go. We've got a great winemaker. I remember Lisa Test, you liked the Astrolab guy as much as I did when he was on the Stars of Pinot Noir. So he's going to do an event with us next Wednesday. And I want to tell you, if you want to really see one of the best wines of New Zealand, this is it. And he's going to be live on the Zoom from New Zealand, where it's like 4 p.m, the day after or the day before, when you do the time change. But he makes a Chenin Blanc and he makes a Sauvignon Blanc, and you can buy the bottle kit, is $78, and get all 3 delivered. Or you could do the $50 Zoom kit, where we give you a couple of 3-ounce pours and a bottle of the Pinot. So join us, because this guy is an absolute stud and really makes some fantastic wines from New Zealand. We're doing a wine, cheese, and chocolate set, kind of a preparatory event for our Thanksgiving effort. I'm sorry, our Valentine's effort in February. Valentine's coming up. So we're getting our wine, cheese, and chocolate efforts together, testing some chocolatiers, some chocolate. We buy really, really artisan product, and showing off some killer wines. 6 wines, 3 cheeses, 3 chocolates. Stars of California Wine. I can't tell you how excited I am about this wine lineup. It's going to be so cool to have 7 winemakers per night on the Zoom. And we're going to have a diversity of not only appellation, but of grapes. And so we'll have some Chardonnay, we'll have some Rhone, we'll have some Cab. In the inside of the Cab world, we'll have one person in Alexander Valley, one person from Calistoga. We have Zin guys. We have top Zin producers like Bialy on night 1, and night 2, Jeff Cohn, absolutely top of the charts. Night 1, Cabernet O'Shaughnessy, Peerless. You haven't even heard of Peerless before. This guy's our teeny $125 bottle of wine made by Aaron Pott. Killer wine. Night 2, Rubia. This is a team from Philippe Melka next to Angwin, $125 Howe Mountain Cab. We got some great Rhones. Leverage, night 2. We've got Ampelos doing some Pinot. Kimsey, that's Matt Dees. Matt Dees is going to be on the Zoom with us from Kimsey, and they're showing the 2014 Syrah. Anyway, I'm super excited, like I told you. The event's $55 a night, or you can do both nights for $100, and that includes delivery on the tasting kits. There's also bottle kits there too, but the bottle kits are going to sell out pretty soon. So if you want to do that with us, join us soon, because that's going to be just incredible to have all that talent and to be able to taste with all those winemakers in one place at one time. Now, our showcase event for the night, for the month, besides Stars of California, is our Loire Valley dinner with Kermit Lynch. And we're going to have Kermit Lynch's son on the Zoom talking about Loire Valley and the Kermit Lynch portfolio. We'll also have my buddy Adam from Kermit Lynch on to talk us through the wines. But Christopher Emmy, Michelin star chef, born and raised in the Loire Valley, and we finally got the menu up. He was so busy during the holiday. It took him a little while to get us the menu, but this is a super traditional Loire Valley menu. And he's brought some really cool touches to it. And we've got the wines all lined up now. When the wines finally arrive, I can publish them. They'll be here on Monday or Tuesday. But we already know how much they cost. So you could buy the wine dinner, or you could just do the wine flight. Let's say you don't want to get the food, or you can't get the food, because the food does require you either pick it up or you Uber it. That's how we're doing it for now on. The delivery thing on this is a little tough. We might have a little bit of delivery available. It is a little bit more expensive. But oh, by the way, on this dinner, we are going to do, we have a pickup spot in Santa Monica and a pickup spot in Studio City. So what we're going to do is we're going to satellite the food from the chef to 2 different locations where you can come and pick it up pretty close by, or you can pay the $30 and have it delivered. That's how we're going to do it. Some of you sent an Uber car last time, and that works out well too. It's easy. It does cost a little bit of money, but this is a great menu and an amazing chef. This is a Michelin star chef with not working with the sous chef. He's doing all the food from top to bottom, all of it, and doing the grocery shopping too, because he goes to the farmers markets and gets all the ingredients. This guy's just an incredible chef. And by the way, he's married to an incredibly beautiful mega model TV star, movie star personality. And she will be on this Zoom as well. And so that's going to be kind of cool as well. And then we finish out the month of January up in Oregon for a night of Pinot. And I will say this is a brand that maybe you haven't heard of yet, but this is the brand you will hear of, because these are awesome wines made by the former winemaker, 40 years of Louis Jadot, Jacques Lardier. He took his winnings and bought property in Willamette Valley, because you can't buy property in Beaune, and not good property. And he has this awesome brand that he's trying to produce. So he brought a former cellar person who worked for him and made him the winemaker in Oregon as well. So super French personality shining through in this special little brand from Oregon. And you're going to love the wines. If you like Pinot and you like Oregon Pinot, you want to be here for our Saturday, January 30th. And we'll have the winemaker live on the Zoom with us. So super cool. Yes, Denise, what's up?
Ian, on the Loire Valley dinner, you said that the pricing for the bottles is coming. It's not an option yet.
Right, it will be there. The bottle pricing will be there, and we'll be able to get those to you in Florida or wherever you might be.
Can I sign up for the dinners now, knowing that I wanted to get the bottles later?
You don't have to. We'll get you signed up. I will find you. I will find you. But the bottles will be on there by Monday.
I'll wait till Monday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. And I look forward to seeing you. You're going to love that dinner. Thank you, guys.
I was very excited to see Alice tonight.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, she helped me get the wine and the food up to you. And she's making a couple of appearances for me to help. And that's nice of her. But any questions, comments? I hope you guys had a good time. Thanks so much. You have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will see you soon. Ian Black signing out. Cheers, all. Be safe. Be very safe. Very dangerous.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you. Bye, all.